Locked on target. Hi crew, and welcome to 20 Minutes a Game on Victor Vran. This is the show that's half Let's Play, half review. Basically, what this is I play the game for 20 minutes and then assess the game given my category review system. And under full disclosure, I was given this key for the express purpose of reviewing this game. However, I'm sorry I didn't get it out at release, but a lot of games came my way at the same time, and as you can see, I wanted to give this game its due and actually beat the game and see what the end game content is, because that's what a lot of people that put up reviews, they couldn't get to the end game content, and I will have that information for you guys this time. So let's go ahead and jump into the game. And oh yes, 20 minutes of game, engage! So this is an action RPG by the guys who made who make the Tropico series, Haemimont Games, which I like to get those games as well. So here we have our Diablo style, basically stations. We got the transmute with the Tinkerer here, who's also a salesman, blah blah blah. You can equip. Let's get into this real quick, and I want to demonstrate. But basically, you have different vendors around in your private stash, and the queen's over there. So this is your mission map. Obviously, it's not going to look at that, but I don't want to get over there because spoilers. Let's try and find a zone that I haven't done yet. But basically, this is a very unique action RPG. Good, we haven't done any of the infested burrow. Slay spiders with TNT, slay spiders with bombardiers. Spiders attack. Bleh, who cares about that? Demon spiders. Okay, so basically these are challenges. You get the challenge, you get stars. When you complete the challenge, you get rewards, experience, and a random item, a better item. So these are obviously harder. Then, for the endgame content, bam! We also get hardcore challenges. To do. So these are basically to beat these levels with, you know, get these as well, which actually will be really, this one will be super easy without my build, because I run sword and mortar kit. So you got your different hexes over here. I haven't really spent time leveling up. I think these are a waste of time. Each one gives, they're like skulls on Halo. You get 10% XP for 5 and 5% more items gained for taking an effect. Like, you constantly take damage periodically. Or, you know, monsters gain 120 armor, which is a large percentage, and regen. So let's go into this. Let's just get started. So you have two, unlike most action RPGs, you have two weapons you can equip at any time. So these are my sword skills. It's my right click is just a triple slash. It applies vulnerability and crits, as well as a bunch of other stuff. You'll see there, I'm actually using a legendary item, which will give me really good. Of course, my headset cuts out during 20 minutes a game. But anyways, yep, it's showing me that stuff. And again, that's the gist of the game. I have a legendary sword that has special modifier effects when I use this, and I'm using this grenade launcher here to move. You'll notice that I can jump. That actually plays into finding secrets. In combat, it's not very useful. I also have a legendary grenade launcher, and I'll show you those effects a little bit, but I want to actually get to some gameplay. You know what I mean? Because you guys were sitting and looking at menu screens, and you know, people are like blah 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Attacking me from above.
I don't want that.
I could use this to my advantage.
Yeah, and you hear that? That's Geralt. That is literally the Witcher's voice. He is one of two. There is a voice in your head, which I will not spoil too much. Hopefully he pipes up. Yeah, I know, but I needed to use stuffs. because I hate lava spiders so much as melee. You know what? We're just going to switch to this. But yeah, my legendary, what it does is allows me to shoot 3 grenades at once. And I will also go into what are called destiny points a little bit once I get past this section. You know what? Let's see if I can actually jump up here real quick. I probably could if I went straight up. Yep. Hi. Alright, and there's secret up here. So, yay. Do. Hi, guys. Oh, that's all lava spiders. That was going to be painful. Oh, I need to do sword so I can get some daze kills. But yeah, sword, my E skill, well, yeah, it's my E skill, causes daze. But, yeah, as you can see, it's an action RPG that really has quite a little bit of depth, because you can switch weapons at will, but you only have 2 skills for each weapon. Which you also have what are called demon powers, which are customizable, which are bound to 3 and 4 respectively. And I'll just activate one. I call the Wizard Beam from Diablo 3 that I keep. And also, here's my other one I have equipped, which causes weakness to the area. I can't use skills while in that. They can hit me. Man, I hate demon spiders. It takes so much health. And trust me, I have a very high DPS build. Non-legendary weapons, this part would take forever. Which is another thing. I feel like the combat, and we'll get into this a little bit, the combat slogs on. You know what I mean? And these are just very basic enemies. Like, they shoot projectiles and whatnot. You basically have to pay attention to the color of the spider. But, like, there's only, like, maybe 8 different styles of spiders. And they all pretty much do the same thing, except some of them do slightly different things. You know, like, these ones attack at range. Oh, man. Get wrecked. Alright. So, that is literally the entirety of this mission. But I think I see a secret that direction. Either that or it's gold I failed to pick up. No, it's just gold I failed to pick up. Sad day. But now that you've seen kind of a mission, and that's just a regular kind of explorable area. Let's see if I can get up here jumping off the crystals. Nope. Sad day. I will go into the inventory system. Now there are quite a few unique weapons. There's the lightning gun. There's a difference between rapier. Okay, I'll go into what the lightning gun is first. It's a kind of and you guys can read the legendaries descriptions there. The lightning gun is an AoE style thing. You can tag things with lightning and send out an orb that seeks and bounces between targets affected with lightning. Rapier, which I don't have one, is your basically speed armor penetration ability. Basically, swords are your overall kind of single target high damage, basically on effect on crit skills, which is what I love. Then grenade launchers, which I love as well, are basically your fire. I play them like a caster in most MMORPGs. You have the fire style of mage, pretty much. Well, actually, I'd put it more akin to an earth mage in most games. Even though it does fire damage, there's no elemental damage in this, but it basically fires a grenade out that does area of effect, which is basically like a stone blast in most games. Then you have the lava pit that comes up from the ground that cripples people. So that's like churning earth in Guild Wars. Then you have the jump and blast, which is basically like a rocket jump that applies vulnerability. But also, what is another cool thing about the weapons while I'm here is the legendaries scale with you. So I do have quite a few legendaries here. They do damage based on my level. So you can get them at level, I think I got this at level 10 or so. And then it's been with me the whole time, which Shard is fantastic. 50% weapon skill cooldowns, inflicts vulnerability, which is double guaranteed crit at 15% chance. So it's and then on top of it, the sword skills recharge on crit. So it's pretty ridiculous. And basically, my sword skills unleash a projectile, which is its special legendary status, that applies weakness to foes, which makes them deal 50% damage to me. So it's super useful, especially on high level play. Let me get into what this kind of looks different to most action RPGs here. So I have my my demon powers here, which there's a variety. I don't want to switch from that, but you have Diamond, which is your shield. Pull, which is your stun. It pulls enemies to you and stuns them for a bit. Blink, which is honestly a really good one. I've been actually considering replacing one of these with Blink because it's super awesome. Because you can teleport to somewhere, then does damage in the area and applies vulnerability, so the next attack is a crit, which again synergizes really well with my build, and I'll get into that in a bit because I don't want to talk about the builds the whole time, but there's so much to talk about in this game. And of course chat's on being stupid. But now for the other part of this, I'll just explain outfits real quick, and then I'll get into I wish I could mute people. I haven't figured that out. But you don't need to be online. You don't need to see people. I just checked out the online portion, and I haven't figured out how to turn it off since then. But I haven't really been looking. So we have our abilities here. We have our outfits. I only have the two here. This changes how you accumulate overdrive, which is basically hatred in Diablo. If you've played Diablo, which is basically when I attack someone, I build up hatred or overdrive. What I like about this armor is it gives me 50 armor points, 40 armor penetration, and then my overdrive does not diminish outside of combat and increases my maximum overdrive by 2 charges. So it gives me static benefits. It's, in my opinion, the best armor in the game. But there's other ones like the Hunter's outfit, which the outfits completely and totally change your appearance. As you can see, I'm now wearing the hat. This is the traditional way, or this is the first armor you get in the game, or how Vran is supposed to look. This is more of a caster thing. You gain over 80 overdrive every second, but no attacks. No longer grant overdrive. So that's more if you want to play like a mage type thing. It makes it into kind of a mana bar. So your outfit kind of defines your play style. Let me get into Destiny cards, which are your passives. Your weapons do have passives on them, but this is your main place for passives. So, of course, I use something that gives me an increased crit chance, because crit is important. The Blade Master, which makes my build OP. I crit a lot, okay? So, and I apply vulnerability, which is guaranteed crit, which means I can apply pretty much regeneration on myself at any point. So, and this increases crit damage with swords. So a regeneration grants me 4% health back every second. It is extremely hard to die. I also have 7% lifesteal. Then I have also my cannon. So what I'll do is pre-proc might with my grenade launcher. Then I will switch over to my sword once I have might, which if you read on the description there, might critical damage is increased by 100%. And my sword specializes in critting a lot. So it basically gives me a heck ton of crit chance on crit damage by starting with my cannon and then going into it. I mean, frailty is also really good, so I will literally rocket jump to cause frailty, shoot one thing to cause might, because again I'm shooting 3 grenades out with my Chimera, hit by 5 foes, give myself about 5 seconds of might, and then go ham on them with my sword. Then I also use death, which is your glass cannon type of thing, but I mean they have plenty of abilities. So when you're hit, you release an explosion. You get thorns, which obviously are thorns. If you've played an MMO or in RPGs in general, basically you take damage when people hit you. Then on overkill, this is a really good one. If I get enough, I might switch this in because overkill is when you just do too much damage to someone. Sorry. Man, I really need to play the game. My apologies. And I need to stop explaining. But you can see character customization is really big. And unlike Total Biscuit's complaint, you can return to the hub instantaneously. You just got to do it from the menus. He just didn't catch it in his WTF. But let's get moving because I want to do stuff. So let's go ahead and go into a random thing. What is?
Here we go again.
Here we go again. Let's get going. I wanted to do this because this is a boss battle. So, yeah, there are boss battles in the game. You might recognize how this one is done. Oh no, he's on the ceiling. Whatever shall I do? Oh man, he's off the ceiling.
The poor bugger was on his back.
Ow. Man, I think he upped his damage. Man, I didn't get any crit with my abilities here. That champion just cast this. Oh, I'm on elite. So they're all spawning lava spiders. That's traditionally not how that level is done. So let's go back to the Tangle and let's go with the regular challenges. Oh, now let's try this again. I'm like, why in the world is everything doing so much damage to me? Yeah, end game. So this is mid tier. So yes.
Marvelous. It's absolutely marvelous.
Come on. But yeah, basically do this, then DPS the spider down.
Just waltz some score. The poor bugger was on his back.
Man, what? But you saw that chrono effect earlier. That's an effect that an enemy mob can cast that causes my effects to slow down, which is cold as well. Gosh darn. Right in the middle of there. Yeah, eat that one shot. No, I can't dodge these being in the time vortex. Oh, man. Wow, I'm actually having trouble with this. Usually I can handle these bosses pretty easily. Now I have regeneration. Let's go ahead and kill these lava spiders beforehand. Come on. Can we do it in 1 minute? I actually wanted to show you guys a different one, but in general, this is the gist of the game. Man, so much DPS for so little. Standing in a frost zone. There we go. Okay, Frostweaver's hurt. Oh man, this thing hurts. Yes, the boss hurts. I don't think I'm going to do it in 25 seconds. But you guys are getting... there are a lot of different bosses in this game. I think, if I remember correctly, like something like 8 or 9. How are you deflecting my blast? That is so rude. Oh no, it's review mode. It hasn't been engaged, and I did not get to complete the boss. Sad day. So let's go back to Dub and begin our category review system. Man, I didn't get to show a lot of the builds and whatnot. Maybe I'll do a full Let's Play of the game because there is a lot more of like build mechanics that I could show you. But you're kind of getting that there's a lot of in-depth customization here. So let's get into my category review system. And here, this game is going to score extremely well. I'll just say that. I didn't get to showcase any of the writing or the voice in your head's humor. Sorry about that. I was thinking I would get to that, but you're kind of getting the gist of this. The areas are technically a lot bigger. The overworld sections are bigger, and they are planning on including free DLC maps, for lack of a better word, that are procedurally generated. So the game kind of has a replay as well as doing the challenges, which are like, I remember that boss. I blew him away the first time I did it because, but again, once I beat the game, everything is scaled up in difficulty immensely. So I'm on challenge mode now. But I'm glad I could get to showcase how the difficulty changes because I could like 3-shot him when I actually went and did it in story mode. So let's get into the category review systems. With my warriors out there, those that love combat, obviously this game scores a 9 out of 10. The unique weapon system nets it a lot of pluses. The lack of variety in skills, though, really hurts it. So here's what I mean by this. These are the only 3 sword skills you're going to have, okay? These are the only 3 mortar skills you're going to have. And there's more, there is way more weapons in the games. There's scythes, there's shotguns, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Didn't have time to show you into that. I didn't even have time to really go into a lot of the customization and whatnot, other than to say there's a heck ton of abilities, as well as different potions you can equip. Now, that being said, there's like 9 weapons in the game, I believe, if I've counted correctly. And they're not all that different from each other. So you have the single target option. You have ranged DPS, blah, blah, blah. You have single target ranged. You have AoE ranged, and that kind of makes it so the weapons feel samey, but all of them are satisfying to use. I particularly like the scythe and the rapier, but with this build with the sword, I believe it's better for high-end play because of the regeneration my skills give me, and it's genuinely a fun build to play. And I played going from the beginning. I pretty much played shotgun 90% of the game, which is grants you speed, which increases your attack and attack rate and speed buff. So shotgun's the way to go when you're going through the game. It's so useful, especially on skeletons, because you can pretty much use one of the skills that recharge on kill and get a guaranteed overkill, which if you don't overkill a skeleton, it gets right back up one time. So you want to overkill skeletons. So shotgun's super useful for going through the majority of the game. But the hammer is really fun. I didn't get to show that off, but there's other Let's Plays and whatnot. But honestly, I have one of the better weapon sets here. So one of my biggest complaints is that eventually you will own a lot of the weapons. Okay, but I've spent 16 hours in the game now, and I have 2 legendaries. One I bought off a vendor, one I got in a drop at level 10. So, you know, be prepared to really, not farm, but just go into it with the mindset that your best build is going to be way out there and take time to build. There are weapons that I still want to get, but for now, this is a really good build. You know, that type of thing. So my complaint is weapons and the ability to do better in the game is RNG based. Whether you get a legendary or not really helps you out in the game. And once you get that, you don't really need to buy anything else. All of the weapons of that type become meaningless. Okay? And I didn't even get to go into the transmutation upgrade system, but you can still upgrade regular items to be on par with legendaries, or even better. But again, you're not going to get the legendary effects without doing the legendary. But I digress. I want to stick to the categories reviews, but it gets a 9 out of 10 because of the lack of weapon skill variety. And especially when you compare it to something like Diablo 3, which a lot of people complain about Diablo 3 as weapon system, being that it's the runes. Okay, the runes take effect and basically change how your weapon performs completely and totally, or add different effects to different skills, as pretty much making each skill in the game have at least 4 different effects, whether it be changing elements, changing how it behaves, whatever. There's a ton of customization in Diablo 3, not as much as Diablo 2, which people complained about. That's the same thing here. Destiny cards only affect so much, and really legendaries only affect so much. I feel like there's not a lot of weapon customization, except if you can find a legendary. That's it. So I will say there is a lot of customization with the demon powers, but I don't really use them all too often, and they don't really do that much DPS. Even this one is a legendary, and it's like, so what? You know, like, I'm better off just using my regular weapon skills. Other than, like, these offer some attack at range and whatnot. But I just stick to these skills pretty much. And these, I use Dark Mist to get out of tough situations, because you get no clip when this is on. So everyone is weakened when they are attacking you, and it's a good escape mechanism. But I digress again. So speaking of being able to digress, let's get on to the next category. So for creatives, my people who like to customize things, to build things, to really make their own way and make their own character, there is a heck ton of optimized builds here. Whether you want to go for crit, AoE, single target, whatever, there's like I think I've thought of 3 or 4 really high DPS optimized builds for each and every one of those builds. And even my build, I believe, would be good and backed up by using shotgun here as well, because shotguns specialize in applying vulnerability. If you do the attack as soon as it reloads, you apply vulnerability, i.e. a 100% crit chance. You switch to the sword, bam, go ham. You know what I mean? It's genuinely probably as effective as mine, but I like the 100% increased damage, as well as the cripple and the rocket jump to get out of stuff. It's what I'm saying is there's a lot of builds, and it's all just a matter of opinion. I wish I could have done a little bit more the actual gameplay for you guys, but you guys can see it's challenging and fun. Now, for the next part is one of my critiques, or my critic portion of the review system, where I look at how this advances games and whatnot. This game gets a solid 8 out of 10. It's well executed, well supported. The developers already announced plans to support the game in DLC, and it has great production values. I love the story. I loved everything about this game. But, and there's a huge but, once you get done with the challenges, there is nothing here. Okay, Diablo 3, as much as you can complain about, there's no end games, going into a rift is still fun, and I've put like 900 to 1,000 hours into that game. Okay, that's still a good enough reason to play that game. This, once I get done with the challenges, I don't think I'm going to come back, because there's nothing else with this game. As a matter of fact, as much as I enjoyed this game, I'm probably not going to come back to it after this, because, again, it's not like I can jump in with my buddies, which you can play co-op on the levels, but who cares? It's not that hard to do it in the first place, except in these elite challenges, evidently. But it's not that hard, and it's genuinely not lacks replayability. Because you're all one character, okay? So once you get equipment, to my knowledge, there's no inventory max, okay? So once you get a piece of equipment, it's yours for the rest of existence, and it's just like a one and done game. I just don't see any reason to come back to it. So, but you know, for $20, it's worth it. I'll get into that at the end. But it's worth it to see the experience. But even now, the combat is starting to grate on me, because I figured out my combo. There's not much else I can do with it other than switch in a weapon that I've been using for 14 hours of the game already. So, you know, like, there's just not much there in the replayability. Lore-wise, oh my gosh, is this game amazing. So, there's a definite, like, Van Helsing air to this game. And I really like it. I love the gothic feel. The characters are memorable. Vran is very well voiced. I want to go back to the critic after this for a second, but the lore is just fantastic. I found myself laughing out loud 9-10 times going through this game, because the voice in your head is downright hilarious. There are so many pop culture references in this game, from the Star Wars, like I Am Your Father, like No Scene from The Empire Strikes Back, where Luke goes, no! Like, that's in here in an actual funny way. Then, like, there's the brave Sir Robin from Monty Python, like, the voice in your head sings that to you, but, like, brave Sir Vlad, or say brave Sir Vran instead of brave Sir Robin. That was hilarious, I thought. Then I got a chuckle out of this. When I went down to an ice cave, it was all ice all the time. My last boss was named Elsa. I was like, really? You know, like, oh yeah, and there's like party zombies in here that dance in Gangnam Style, and if you they're hilarious to watch. But if they hit you, you will start dancing, and you know, Gangnam Styling, and you can't attack and whatnot. So you're dancing with them. There's actually an achievement to get hit by that. I want to go into why I gave also the critic 8 out of 10. There is a severe lack of enemy variety in this game, okay? So as far as I know, there's vampires, gargoyles, undead, and spiders. Yes, Okay, that's it. That is literally it. Spiders, pretty much, you saw all the, that's all the varieties of spiders there were. Okay, there's like 5, 6 varieties. So there's varieties of each different enemy type, but they all equate to be pretty much the same enemy. You know, once you fought one miniature gargoyle, you fought a bajillion. I mean, the vampires have like 7 or 8 different classes of vampire or whatnot, but 90% of them are melee or caster. So it's like, that's one of the things that I wreck this on, is enemy variety is lacking. I felt very bored facing the same enemies through all the levels. It just got to be too easy. And the game ramps up the challenges by putting multiple like 9-shot enemies from high single target DPS like the sword enemies that you can't knock back and you can't stun, blah blah. You know what I mean? Those type of enemies. That's what the game throws at you at like 8 or 9 at a time, and I just think that's weak design. Give me something new to fight. Give me something that. But again, 8 out of 10 still solid. Completionist. Next category. Ranks high again. 9 out of 10. These challenges are legitimately hard. Sometimes they're on normal. They're attainable. Okay, a lot of them are. Find the 2 secret chests in this, or beat this level with 5 hexes on, which you can do with practice, you know, that type of thing. And again, hexes are the skulls from the Halo franchise, pour out into an ARPG, which I gotta give props. That is a really smart idea for ARPGs to bring in. I hope that brings in all future ARPGs, because it is genuinely fun. But again, I already have the loot that I need, so XP's not meaningless at this point because I have all my skills and all my destiny slots from what I know. So it's just like +1 destiny point and plus 100 health. So what? But the sorry, my audio cut out. I clicked on my notes. So my seeker category, which I rate as a 7 out of 10. This is a very, and again, if you're a seeker, you're always wanting a new experience. How new does this game feel? And this game is very unique in its execution, but it loses its luster very quickly because of the reused enemy types, skins, and levels. And what I mean by this is you have basically one gimmick to get through. There's caves with stuff in it, and then there's city with stuff in it, and then there's more caves with stuff in it, and you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And there is one point in the story, up until this point, everything's like beautifully narrated, and it's just like, yep, go kill 4 demon bosses. No introduction to who the demon bosses are. It's just like, well, before we trust you with this X1 thing, we need to go and kill some demon bosses. There you are. And there's no in-between quest. It just feels completely slapped on. So it's... the questing was the one thing, that one part drove me nanners, because everything else was so well done in execution, but just that one part where it's just like, yep, go kill 4 things. And then you don't get any story till you've gone and slogged through the 4 bosses, which is one of the bosses that the boss that I fought in the 20 minutes of game. That's one of the bosses that you have to fight. No introduction, just a spider, you know, and you got to do 4 boss battles in a row. But anyways, it's just repetitive and it loses its luster quick. So that's why Seeker gets the lowest score. But my final score, 51 out of 60. Oh my gosh, this game is a must experience for any gamer. It is genre redefining for the ARPG, and it sets the bar for the genre in a new way. There are things that this game could do better, but oh my gosh, was it a good experience going through it and playing through it. I mean, honestly, it gives Diablo a run for its money, and you don't know how hard that is for me to say. Okay, and because Diablo 2 was a lot of my life growing up, Diablo 3 is still one of my favorite ARPGs. This game takes the ARPG formula, puts this new spin on it, and raises the bar so far for the genre. So if you have any interest in any type of action RPG, this is a must-own for your library, especially for the price. $19.99 on Steam. Man, it was so worth it. If you guys want me to do a let's play or show a little bit of more of the gameplay, please leave it down in the comments, because I loved playing through this game. I would be okay doing a fresh playthrough for the channel for you guys. So thank you for checking out my review. Sorry this went on a little bit of the long side, but it's worth it for this game. So thank you, and until we meet again, stay on target.